There have been certain food reviews throughout the blog page. Were you aware of the reputation your establishment has gained?
No, not at all.
And how does that make you feel? I mean, customers are making such wild allegations about you.
That's ridiculous, Miss Sanders. How do you think you would feel if people were accusing you of feeding them spoiled meat?
Mr. Hayato, I'm not sure I can relate to that. It's not like I'm some sort of chef.
Of course you wouldn't understand. You're just some journalist trying to defame my restaurant.
I'm actually a blogger, thank you very much. Now, can you tell me about where your ingredients are supplied?
Well, my daughter Hiromi usually does the shopping at the market and brings me fresh fish. You name it. Salmon, tuna, yellowtail, shrimp.
Now, tell me about your relationship with your father. Are you too close?
Yes, I admire him and his work very much.
Okay. Now, he did say that you help out in the restaurant frequently.
Of course, what kind of daughter would I be if I didn't?
I'm deciding to let her take my restaurant once the time comes.
Well, I've received complaints that your sushi doesn't even taste like fish. I mean, even if your fish is spoiled, the taste still shouldn't be that different.
They just don't seem to get it. The taste of sushi is for those with the most refined taste buds. Anyone accusing me of using spoiled fish has never actually had good sushi before. My daughter only brings the best of the best, and I don't have to go with her to the markets to know it.
Right, and if the quality of the fish isn't fresh, it would impact the entirety of your business. So, what exactly does your daughter do when she brings in the fish?
Well, that's where my years of experience comes in. After my daughter handles the fish, skins it, plucks the bones out, that's when I prepare the fish to be served.
In that case, you must know a lot about your father's process. Could you tell me in detail about the work you do in a shift? I hear you bring in only the best quality.
You got that right. I usually start by bringing in my new catch of
I'm
the
sorry,
week.
new catch?
Oh, my new catch. I ensure that each is selected with great care. Personally, I don't like them to be too young or too old.
You know what? Forget about the interview. Let me tell you a story. Maybe that'll give you something to write home about.
You can tell the age?
Of course I can. I've got an excellent eye for quality fish. Once I've chosen the best of the best, I bring it into the kitchen and start the cleaning process. First, as lovely as the skin may be, it's gotta go. What I want is everything the skin is holding together. Vibrant, ripe meat. Even though I take great care in scrubbing the whole body clean before I dispose of the skin.
A few months back, our restaurant wasn't doing very well. You know, with the radiation and all that. People were making such a big deal about it.
Well, when I say dispose, I don't actually throw the skin away. I find it absolutely lovely. When cooked properly, you can taste the life that was left. So, I save the skin for myself.
So, how would an experienced person, such as yourself, go about removing the skin, or perhaps the rest of the preparation?
After that, we weren't making much and were getting very few customers. We were running low on money. I had to pay my bills. But more importantly, I needed fish in order to continue my business.
Skinning takes me a long time, especially with how big my catches tend to be. It's not that it's difficult to remove the skin, it's just that I try my best to keep it intact. I like it to be as gentle as possible. I make a lot of incisions first, slicing from one end of the body to the other. Once I've done that, I'll start pulling. It get slippery, so I use gauze for a grip. Imagine you're standing with a sleeping bag zipped up your whole body. Someone comes and unzips you like some sort of human banana. That's how I remove the skin.
That's quite unique. Never in my life as a blogger have I ever heard of fish being prepared that way. Perhaps your distinct ingredient preparation is how your father is able to create such popular dishes.
But a few days later, a miracle came. My daughter was able to get her hands on some of the freshest fish I've ever seen. I don't think it was salmon or tuna, but it tasted even better than that.
Right. Please, continue.
The skin is gone. There's still a lot of work left. Blood is everywhere, the entire room. It is filled with this metallic sand that makes me feel like I'm really knee deep in my work. What I'm handling was once a precious life, floating about until it was unfortunate enough to graze my head. I continue with my knife and begin filleting. I don't want a single piece of meat wasted, so I scrape the bones white. To make this easier, I always make sure the nature of the body isn't too muscular or too fatty.
Muscular? I didn't realize fish had muscles.
Why wouldn't they?
It was juicy, tender, succulent, just amazing. If it weren't for my daughter, I doubt I'd be able to continue the sushi business any longer.
Anyway, after removing all the bones, I separate the tendons. I peel them off the meat. It reminds me of string cheese, you know? It's quite satisfying.
Now how's that for a story?
Finally, all that's left of what was once some semblance of body is large, fresh chunks of meat. I slice them up into even smaller chunks to be stored away for my father to handle later.
Well, thank you for that detailed process.
Of course. Personally, I couldn't have imagined that my father would be so reckless with his craft. But then again, I'm always serving the customers while he's preparing the food, so I haven't paid much attention. This whole situation has been so stressful for me.
Oh, I'm sure. I can't even imagine what's going through your mind right now. Thank you again. Your insight has been very helpful. That concludes our interview. Thank you. It was a certain type of pleasure to be working with you. What a strange girl.
Romy, look at this.
Jordan Sanders, a 20-year-old blogger, has disappeared on April 17th, leaving her blog page absent of any recent activity. Poor girl. I wonder what happened to her.